Welcome back to Analytical Strategy. Today I'm going to be revisiting Survivor Sporcle to test my Survivor knowledge. So I'm going to be doing 3 logic puzzle quizzes in total, and they're going to be related to 3 Survivor seasons. So the first is Survivor Heroes vs Villains, followed by Survivor Philippines, and finishing up with Survivor Micronesia. So these logic puzzles are pretty interesting. They're all going to be linked in the description below if you do want to test them out prior to watching this video. And if you are new to the channel, remember to like and subscribe if you are enjoying this content. Alright, let's get into this first logic puzzle related to Survivor Heroes vs Villains. Okay. Clue number 1, Tom. The remaining corners played in Survivor China, and everyone in this row is a man. Okay, so who played in Survivor China, which was in Survivor Heroes vs Villains? So there was Amanda, Courtney, James. So everyone in this row is a man, so this has to be James, with Amanda and Courtney in the other 2 corners. For everyone in this column, Heroes vs Villains is their 3rd time playing, so this has to be Amanda. She played in Micronesia, and Courtney. Okay, so column C is all heroes. Okay, that doesn't help me out too much at the moment. Everyone who played in Survivor Tocantins is in row 1. Okay, maybe it will help me out. So there's Tocantins was Coach, JT, and Coach, JT, Tyson, of course. So Tyson and Coach were both villains, therefore JT must go in column C. Heroes vs Villains is the castaway in E2's 2nd time playing with Sandra. So Sandra only appeared in Pearl Islands before Heroes vs Villains, so therefore I'm pretty sure the only other Pearl Islands contestant was Rupert. Cool. Everyone in column D has won the game. So I know that these 2 squares have to be Tyson and Coach. So this one has to be Tyson, as he's won. This one has to be Coach. Okay. Row 4 is all women. No one in row 2 has played together before Heroes vs Villains. Okay. So everyone in column D has won the game. No one in row 2 has played together before Heroes vs Villains, so no one played with Rupert prior to this season. And row 4 is all women. Okay. So who else has won the game? So we've already got Tom, JT, Tyson. So in addition to that, there's obviously Sandra, Boston Rob, and Parvati. So given, I think they're the only other 3 in addition to Tyson, JT, and Tom. So given that this is all women, Rob can't go in this square. And Rob played with Rupert in Survivor All-Stars, so Rob has to go here. The lowest and highest placing male villains are below each other. So the lowest and highest were Russell and Randy. That doesn't help me too much at the moment. Okay, so we've got Parvati and Sandra for these 2. Sandra played with Rupert in Pearl Islands, so she has to go here. The Queen stays Queen. What a wonderful clue that is. And Parvati goes here. Okay. Castaway in C4 played on my original season. So C4 row, this column was all heroes as well. But I think in Cook Islands, who played in Cook Islands? I can only think of Candace. Candace. Okay. The person above me played in Survivor All-Stars. Okay, so this is all heroes. So which heroes haven't I listed yet? We've got Sugar, not in All-Stars. Stephanie, not in All-Stars. Suri, not in All-Stars. And Colby. So I think this has to be Colby. I'm next to my original arch nemesis. So there's only 1 square for Jerry to go in. Suri is above someone from the Black Widow Brigade. So the Black Widow was Natalie, Alexis, Parvati, Amanda. Parvati's already got someone above her, so that has to be, Amanda's here, so Suri has to go here. The only other person from my original season is in row 4. So row 4 was here. Row 4 was all women. Original season, Panama. I think the only other person from Panama was Danielle. The first season's boot is in C2. So that was Sugar. The person to my left did not make the merge. So there's only 3 people left. So we've got to remember the lowest and highest placing male villains are above and below each other. So that means Russell and Randy must be in these 2 squares, but I don't know what order. Which only leaves, I think it's Steph. Checking. Yeah, so this has to be Stephanie. Stephanie. Okay, perfect. It's been a pleasure. So Randy and Russell, but which order? So everyone, okay, no one in row 2 has played together before Heroes versus Villains. So Randy played with Sugar. So this has to be Russell. And this is Randy. All right, let's go. 20 out of 20. Ah, wow, 35% is the average. So it must be pretty tricky. It was a little bit difficult at the early stages where I had to get Rob, Sandra, Parvati in this order in combination with everyone in row D has won the game, as well as no one in row 2 has played together before Heroes versus Villains. So I could see that if people do trip up there, that's probably where the 35% comes in. But once you get past there, it seemed to be relatively easy, but I'm very happy with that. Heroes versus Villains is done. Let's move on to Survivor Philippines. Alright, here we are, Survivor Philippines logic puzzle. Let's get straight into it. Only 18 contestants in this one instead of 20 as well. Okay, Katie, the youngest player on this season is to my right. Okay, it's a tough one from the get-go. First person that comes to mind is Angie. Okay, my column has only castaways whose names start with A. The second row contains all the people who found idols this season. Wow, okay, so who found idols? We've got Malcolm, found one with Denise in Mat Sing. In Tandang, it was Abby, so Abby's highly likely going to be in that square. And Penna. Okay, so Abby, Penna, Malcolm are all in row 2. Who else started with A? So I think this has to be Abby. Abby Maria. Okay. Who else started with A? The only other person I can think of is Artis. All of the returning players are in the same column. I think this has to be Artis. Okay. The men who didn't make the merge are to my left and to my right. So I'm pretty sure the only men that didn't make the merge are Russell and Zane. All the returning players are in the same column. Okay. So Penna found an idol, and Russell didn't make the merge. And they're all the returning players in the same column. So Scoopin, Penna, and Russell all have to be in the same column, right? So given the men who didn't make the merge are to his left and right, this one can't be Russell because he's in the same column as Penna and Scoopin, and Katie is already in this column. So this has to be Zane. And this has to be Russell. Perfect. Zane, I'm already a superstar. I've made many alliances with everyone on my tribe. Perfect. No further info there. Russell, the 2 first castaways voted out of my tribe are in the bottom corners. Okay, so that was Zane and Roxy were the first 2 voted out of Mat Sing. So that has to be Roxy here. Perfect. Everyone in my column was on Mat Sing. Okay, so these are both Mat Sing. So Roxy's already gone from Mat Sing, Russell's gone from Mat Sing, Zane's gone from Mat Sing, and Angie's gone from Mat Sing. which means they have to be Malcolm and Denise, the only other two remaining. And given that everyone found an idol within this row, this has to be Malcolm. Column D only contains men. This has to be Denise. Penna shares a border with 3 people from the original Tandang. So, given Penna found an idol as well, he has to be here, because all people who found an idol are in this column, in this row, and all the returning players are in this column. So this has to be Penna. Stay sunny side up and suck eggs. Okay, no further clue there. So this has to be Michael Scoopin. Perfect. Person to my right made the family visit. Column D is only men. And what's the clue with Penna? Penna shares a border with 3 people from the original Tandang. So Scoopin is one of them. Abby's one of them. Artist is gone. So it could be Lisa, could be Pete, and it could be RC. So column D is only men. So Lisa, RC, so this has to be Pete. Okay. All the castaways that made it to the final tribal council are in one row. Okay. So Denise, Scoopin, Lisa are all on the top row. This is all men. So this is Lisa here. Brother. Okay. Person to Scoopin's right made the family visit and is a male. So I think it has to be Carter, right? Denise is gone, Malcolm's gone, Scoopin's gone, Lisa's gone, Abby's used, Penna's used. Not even sure if Penna made. Yeah, Penna did make family. Pretty sure Pete did. I think this has to be Carter. Okay. Lisa is the only Tandang in her column. Okay, all the Matsings are used. So the other 2 in Lisa's column have to be from Calabao. So it could be Jeff, could be Dawson, could be Dana. Okay, so 2 of those are Dana, Jeff, or Dawson. Okay, who else found an idol? So it was Penna, Abby, Malcolm. That was it. Okay, there must be something on. Okay, all the people who found idols, they're all in there. Column D is only men. So what other men are there? So there is Jeff, obviously. So Zane's gone. Russell's gone. Artist, Pete, Penna, Carter, Malcolm, Scoopin. So this has to be Jeff. Perfect. No. Okay, so there's 3 spots left. So we know 2 of them are Dawson and Dana. So they have to be in those 2 squares in E2 and E3. And the other person is RC. Let's check, yeah. So this one has to be RC. Peter is next to 2 castaways who went by their last names. So Penna and Dawson or Dana. So I think Dawson. Perfect. And that means Dana must go here. Awesome. Done it again, 100%. So 46. Found that one a little easier than the Heroes versus Villains one. Again, it can prove difficult in some circumstances. But yeah, very happy to get 100% on that one. And that leads us to the last quiz of the day, and that is the logic puzzle for Survivor Micronesia. All right, let's get into it. All right, here we are with the Survivor Micronesia logic puzzle, the last of the 3. Let's see if we can go 3 for 3 and get 100% on all of them. Let's get into it. Okay, so this one also has 20 contestants. So Mikey B, everyone in my row is a fan, and also this row's corner also became a favourite, which means The only fan turned favourite is my man Eric. So everyone else in that row is a fan, so B1, C1, D1. The Black Widow Brigade is found in row 3. The female making the sounds of jungle love is found in column D. So column D and row 3. So jungle love I think is a reference to Amanda and Ozzy. Okay. A villain is to my left. And the other 3 squares touching me are members of the LGBTQ community. So, Black Widow Brigade, so we got Amanda, Natalie, Parvati, Alexis, Sari. So a villain is to her left, so this has to be Parvati. I think the only member of that 5 who was part of the LGBTQ community was Natalie Bolton. Okay. Row 2 is all men. So I'm just thinking, who else was part of that community within this season? So Chet and Amy Cusack. So given row 2 is all men, I think this has to be Chet. And this is Amy. Okay. So Chet is the only fan in this row, and James is in between 2 people with curly blonde hair. Interesting. So curly blonde could be Chet, but that's not enough information at this point in time. Parvati, the people above and below me were medically evacuated. So that's James and that's Penna. So it's looking like James is in this square. Given Amy doesn't have curly blonde hair. And he has to be in one of these 2, right? So this, I think this has to be James, right? All of the corners are fans, so this has to be Penna. Someone from my original season is in column A. So Penna's original season was Cook Islands. So Parvati's already gone. Could be Ozzy. Who else was in Cook Islands? I think it's just Ozzy, right? Within Micronesia. So someone from original season is in column A. So could be A2, A3. Well, it can't be this one. Because these 2 are Alexis and Sari. And everyone is a fan in the top row. And Chet's the only fan in the second row. So it's looking like Ozzy's here, but could technically still be A4. Row 2 is all men. Black Widow Brigade is found in row 3. So Alexis Sari, but which order? Row 2's all men. Row 1's all fans. Okay, who else had curly blonde hair? I'm thinking it has to be Fair Play, right? I mean, Fair Play's the only one I can think of other than Chet. Parvati, Manistry, no, Natalie, no. Alexis, yeah, she can't be in that row. I think we're going to take a stab at Fair Play here. Okay, the person above me doesn't care about Chet's head. Okay, that's Joel. He doesn't care, okay. It doesn't give me much info. All of the corners are fans. Okay, so Ozzy can't go here, Ozzy can't go here. So he has to be here. It's probably what I should have done first. A fan is in B3. So a fan is in B3, which means that's Alexis. And this is Sari. Wow, what a clue. Sari. The survivor in E4 quit. So, I mean, Fair Play technically didn't quit. He's already there. So the only other one that quit is Cappy. Okay. The two people who found and played the fake immunity idol are next to each other. So that has to be Jason and Eliza. So they could be in the bottom row or the top row, right? No, they can't be in the top row because this is only fans. So it has to be in the bottom row, and all the corners are fans. So this is Jason, and this is Eliza. It's a bleeping stick. The survivor in C1 was voted out for their romance with A1. So Mikey B and I think it was Mary. Who? Yep. My neighbors to the left and right switched tribes at the swap. So who's left? So it has to be a fan, right? In the top row. Has to be a fan. So I don't think we've used Yao. So Yao. So I've only got two left. So Yao's one, which I think looks like has to be here. Okay. I'm the only favourite in this column. Okay, that's fine. So the only other person left is Tracy? Yes, I'm the Sporcle sole survivor. 3 out of 3, 100% on all 3 quizzes. I'm extremely happy with that. These logic puzzles are actually extremely fun. Please let me know how you did in the comments below, because these were great. And if you do have any other Sporcle quizzes you would like me to do, please let me leave a comment below, and I will check them out and I'll record them, and I'll show you how I go. So this was a heap of fun. If you are enjoying this content and you do want to see more of it, please leave a like and a comment below, and subscribe to the channel if you are new, because it does mean a lot and it does really help the channel grow. So this is Analytical Strategy, and we are signing out once again. I'll see you on the next video. Okay, bye for now.